Okay guys, I'm gonna be dead honest and say this from the start because I know not everyone is gonna watch the full video. And it's that my honest goal with Rare Liquid is not just to have it be a YouTube channel about tech investing. My ultimate long-term goal is to make Rare Liquid a best-in-class education and content company. I guess I'm hesitant to talk about this and what I'm about to say in this full video because I feel like it might make me vulnerable to some criticism. But my hope is that if you watch this full video, then you'll see why I'm taking the biggest public risk of my life, to be honest, to document this journey of me trying to go from $0 to $1 million in earned revenue through YouTube in 1 year. This is either going to be really epic or really embarrassing. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Ben. I'm a former JP Morgan investment banking analyst and welcome to Rare Liquid. Today is March 1st, 2021. This is update number 1 of 12 of me documenting my journey of trying to go from $0 to $1 million in 1 year. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my story and going pretty extensively into why I'm doing this. And I'll also be going into my game plan and the kind of goals I have for each month. I'll be posting these update videos on the first of each month, while the rest of the videos on my channel will be about finance and investing. Okay, so first of all, I just want to set the stage by telling you guys about my story and why I'm publicly documenting this journey. As some of you may have seen from my previous video of why I quit investment banking, after my second year of college, I was making somewhere around $170,000 while working 70 to 100 hours a week while working at JP Morgan. And everything kind of changed for me when my mom was diagnosed with ALS in 2017, which caused me to recalibrate and think about if I was really pursuing the important things in my life and the dreams that I had. I took some time off to travel across the world and decided to pursue my lifelong dream of starting my own business by starting a fashion brand called Aesthetic Studios. I worked on that business for about 2.5 years from 2018 to the end of 2020 when I recently closed it down, and I started to give this whole YouTube thing a shot by posting my first video on January 19th, 2021. I'm telling all of you guys this because it really provides the context for the 5 reasons that I'm publicly documenting this journey. The first reason is going to sound pretty counterintuitive, but it's that when I thought about posting this video, I felt really scared. To be completely honest, I probably give myself a less than 5% chance of actually hitting this goal of $1 million in 1 year, and not hitting this goal while publicly documenting all of this could probably lead to some pretty embarrassing outcomes. I started making YouTube videos focused on just the investing ideas that I had and things I wanted to share and enjoyed making videos about. And while I'm gonna continue to do that, as I was doing some more research about the potential of YouTube and what further businesses could spring from it, my entrepreneurial brain really kicked in and I started to really think really big. I think this is just how my brain works. Without even a lot of proof, I like to think really big and think of creative ideas from a business standpoint. And so I started seeing that Rare Liquid could be so much more than just a YouTube channel, and I started making some internal projections of where I could see this company really going. Just internally on my own spreadsheet, I started projecting out the different revenue streams that I thought I could start building on and my goals for each month. And I was gonna just keep this all to myself until I thought about basically publicly documenting everything. And again, the reason I didn't want to share it is because I was scared of being ridiculed by people for having such a crazy idea. And also, there's a huge chance that I'm not gonna actually hit my goal. But then I thought, this is really the same type of feeling that I had when I was afraid to quit JP Morgan and start my own business. And that turned out to be such a crazy adventure and a lot of fun and so many lessons learned from it. So my gut kind of just told me that this was the right thing to do. And I think what really pushed me over the edge and just made me have the courage to post this is that 2 weekends ago, my mom was hospitalized, and it reminded me again so much of how fragile life is and not to be so afraid to do things that may be risky. This leads me to reason number 2, which is that I believe that no one on YouTube has actually documented a journey like this. And I think part of it might be because, it is so risky. The book 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel really shaped a lot of how I view entrepreneurship. And the main message from that book is really that if you want to succeed in business, but also just in anything in life, you have to be able to offer something that no one else can. This is something that I already try to do by putting in tons and tons of research into all my videos and making them really good. But I think this public documentation would take everything to another level. And so I thought to myself, yes, it's really possible that I could fail, but what if I do succeed? Wouldn't it be really great for everyone to be able to see all the different updates that I have in real time pretty much each month, to be able to take the lessons that I'm able to share and hopefully apply them to their own life, whether it's through their business or their YouTube channel, whatever they're creating. And so this leads me to my third reason, which is to help others. I really believe that in order to succeed in life, you have to be able to meaningfully add to other people's lives, not just your own. And that to me is really the key to success. Not that I've achieved it or anything. My goal is to include you. Yeah, that's right, you, in the documentation of this whole journey, so you can see what it takes for, a normal guy like me who doesn't have health insurance and doesn't have a steady income, starting from $0 and building that business up to hopefully $1 million, we'll see. And I hope that it shares with you some valuable lessons of how you can apply them to your own life, even though my business is going to be focused on content creation, investing, and education. You may be in a totally different industry, but hopefully the lessons along the way will be helpful in whatever you're working on, or maybe this will just be at least some great entertainment. The fourth thing I want to touch upon is my thoughts on money. I think it'd be really disingenuous for me to say that I am not motivated by money, because I am. In my previous video of why I quit investment banking, I mentioned as one of my key lessons that money isn't everything. And I really, really believe that's true. I think it's more important how you make money versus the actual money-making process itself. And that's why I think you hear a lot of really successful people or successful entrepreneurs say that money is not really what motivated them. And I feel like I've really been able to internalize that and think about it in a slightly different way. I do admit I do want a more comfortable life. Right now I'm a full-time caregiver for my mom because she's paralyzed with ALS. And so being able to hire outside caregivers, things like that really do motivate me in terms of creating a more comfortable life for myself. But to me, money is more of a marker for success, really. It means that you have created something of value for others to be willing to part way with their money for. And that's something that's really hard to do. And so ultimately, this concept of publicly documenting this whole journey of $0 to $1 million, it sounds like it's all about money, but it's more about creating some really, really valuable content for anyone who's watching this and hopefully taking them along this whole journey. The last thing I do want to say though is that I actually do want to make a lot of money because I want to give a lot of it away. These past few years of caregiving has been extremely rough for me, to be honest, and it's really made me a lot more empathetic to just so much of the suffering that's going on in the world. That's why my biggest YouTube inspiration is not some YouTuber in finance, but actually Mr. Beast. And it's because he gives away so much money and creates such great content while doing so and helps others. And that's kind of what I want to do in the future. If everything goes well this year, then next year I'm hoping to be able to give away money to loyal subscribers and also create scholarship funds for people who really need it. Of course, if you're super skeptical about all this, that's okay. I view trust as something that needs to be earned over time and not something that, you should just give to me right away. My fifth and last reason for documenting this journey is really simple, and it's that I think it's going to be fun. Simply put, I really just enjoy entrepreneurship. And even though my last business failed, I feel like I learned so much from it and had a lot of fun, honestly. And right now too, with making these videos for YouTube and just thinking about how I can grow Rare Liquid, it's really fun for me. And I want to just share this whole journey because I think that this idea in itself is also something that could be entertaining and valuable to others. So in sum, I guess what I'm trying to say is that throughout all the ups and downs that are going to happen in the next 12 months, I hope you stick along for the ride. Okay, so now we're at the part you've probably been waiting for, and I'm going to be talking about my game plan and strategy of how I plan to go from $0 to $1 million in 12 months. Each of my goals are backed by numbers that I've seen other creators achieve, and so that's why I think this whole plan is within the realm of possibility. Okay, let me first get started with YouTube subscribers, which is really the engine that drives everything else. My first goal was to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 1 month, which I was able to do, and by the end of March, I'm hoping to hit 5,000. You can hit pause to see what the rest of my subscriber goals are, but basically by January 19th, 2022, my goal is to hit 500,000 subscribers. I based this goal on another finance YouTuber named Stock Mo who hit 433,000 subscribers in 5 months, and so I'm giving myself more time than 5 months because hitting 500,000, it's a huge, crazy number to me. And to be honest, probably the hardest goal of all the goals that I have, and it drives everything else. So honestly, it's the most important thing. but I just didn't want to set any limits on myself because I saw someone else be able to do it. So I thought, why not me as well? You also may be wondering how in the world I plan to do this, and I think I have 3 key parts to my strategy that I think are really important to share. The first thing is that I'm going to be applying my investment banking work ethic, really. I'm going to be working 70 to 100 hours a week on Rare Liquid, which I think will give me an edge compared to most other YouTube creators. Now I know this kind of might make me sound like a nut, but I really actually enjoy working hard towards a goal, and putting in long hours is not really as draining to me as maybe most people, because if I find something that I really enjoy working on, then it's actually really fun for me. And it was the same for Aesthetic Studios, and right now it's really the same for Rare Liquid. The second part of my strategy that is really important is something I got from Gary Vee, and it's known as the pillar content strategy. What you do is create one long form of pillar content and then split that up into smaller pieces for other channels like TikTok or Instagram. So for me, I plan to do a bunch of research for my YouTube videos for finance and investing, and then use that content to write Reddit posts a few times a week. And I'm planning to post on Instagram, through Reels, and also on TikTok, ideally aiming for 1 a day or maybe 1 every few days. And my username for all those accounts is Rare Liquid, so if you want to check those out, feel free to go ahead. The third and probably most important part of my entire strategy is to provide some really valuable content. Hopefully, if you've been watching my videos, you can see that I put a ton of research into every single one and always make sure they hit a really high level of quality. And if you don't see that, then, well, this is awkward. I think the really important value that I always try to draw out as a reaction from every single video I create is really learning. I want to create videos where people step away from it and say, wow, I learned so much about this company, or I learned so much from this video about whatever investment banking is about, or whatever the topic is. I want people to step away and really learn and gain a lot of value from it. Okay, so those are the 3 more qualitative parts of my game plan. But next, let's talk about the 5 revenue streams that I plan to work on. The first source of revenue is YouTube ad revenue. And as long as I can hit my subscriber numbers, I found one finance YouTuber named Matthew Ho who made about $5,000 to $7,000 a month with a little less than 50,000 subscribers. So that's the backup data for that. The next thing I want to point out is that since I started my YouTube channel on January 19th, 2021, my last day to hit my goal is January 19th, 2022. And so each last number in each column is going to be my full January month revenue goal multiplied by 19 divided by 31. And so I saw a Graham Stephan video where he made $75,000 to $100,000 a month when he had 625,000 subscribers. So I think that getting around $50,000 a month in January for 500,000 subscribers is reasonable. The second revenue stream is Patreon, and this one is based on Stockmo, who currently has about 14,300 Patreons, and assuming they're paying on average about $7.50 each, because they can pay anywhere from $5 to $20, that comes out to a little over $100,000, which is how I got to my full month January 2022 figure. For Patreon, my goal is to make it the most valuable Patreon membership that any finance YouTuber offers, and currently I'm building out an extensive financial database that I know no one else is offering right now, and I'll share that in my second update, so be on the lookout for that. And I have a lot of other ideas that I want to keep adding onto the Patreon membership as well. The third revenue stream is affiliates and sponsors, and I found from an Andrew Jick video that he made about $870,000 with 1 million subscribers through affiliate links alone and no sponsors, which equates to roughly $72,000 per month. So at 500,000 subscribers, I estimated roughly half of Andrew Jick's monthly average of $72,000, which gives us $36,000. And then I added $64,000 for sponsors based on my experience in fashion, working with influencers and seeing how much they charge. The fourth revenue stream is online courses, and I based my numbers on a filmmaking YouTuber named Parker Walbeck, who had a few 100,000 subscribers and sold roughly $100,000 worth of courses in a little less than a year. And this was kind of my own interpretation of the numbers he showed, so I don't know 100% if this is correct, to be honest. But anyhow, I'm working on a really thorough investment banking recruiting online course, and I think it'll be really valuable just given that I was the JP Morgan UC Berkeley recruiting captain for 2 years. So I have a lot of kind of inside knowledge that I want to share, and I have a lot of ideas of how to make this course really valuable and like a one-stop one-stop shop for any student who wants to break into banking. Also, I know a lot of courses like this are like $500 to $1,000 each, but I plan to make these courses really cheap because I want them to be really accessible to everyone. And I think that ultimately it'll just lead to more customers when it's also more affordable. The fifth and last revenue stream is actually a little bit more for fun, and it's a clothing brand. And my revenue estimates are just based on my previous fashion experience. From working in fashion over the past few years, I established a lot of supplier relationships across Asia that allow me to create some really high quality garments. And so I think I can offer a product that a lot of other people on YouTube and frankly in fashion can't provide. So I think this will just be also another really fun project to work on the side. So totaling all these up, we get to a total of $1 million in revenue in 12 months. Of course, it's important to also note that I'm going to be paying taxes, building out a team, giving away some money. So it's not like I plan to become a millionaire. It's just total earned revenue in 12 months. That's my goal. There's so much more that I actually do want to cover, but I don't want to make this video too long, and I'll share the other ideas that I have, lessons learned, and all that stuff in future update videos. I know this plan is super ambitious and I like to really just think big, so hopefully I don't make myself look like a complete idiot this year, but I hope you follow along on the ride and that you hopefully gain something valuable from this video and will in the future videos. With that said, thank you as always so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.